Political correctocracy is the worst form of tyranny. And also, when I say 50 Shades of Grey, I'm talking literal here. We got nothing, we don't have the colors that we had, which are actually very good for your health and beauty, is to absorb all the color spectrum that has been established by real philosophers and artists and historians, like real art, real interior design. Did they throw out all of our wallpaper designs and colors that are becoming to the human flesh instead of this garish shit that we got now going? Anyways, let's get back to political correctness is the worst form of tyranny. Because when it came in, when they started to get afraid of the early 80s, how fast and how perfect people were becoming. There's no such thing as perfect, but how beautiful and so on. And also they mashed with the greed that was coming in for still the Lex Luthor model of real estate, knowing that the handover was coming. Political correctness is the form of control where you cannot say anything without the Anti-Defamation League of whatever it is. And everybody's got their own anti-defamation personality going on. It's sort of like, oh, you can't say that, because even if you're a serial killer, you're not allowed to not. You know what I was saying? The political correctness. You can see one person in the movie called After the Party, that there's one girl who could see this coming as the worst thing coming for America. Back in 1990, that movie was, and I couldn't find it, but I know that she said it, and I couldn't find it. Now the reason why it is that what it is degraded into is that the truth. It's the lowest common denominator, and now you've got all the worst examples of people of all, and then they're going to show everything like footage from the 20s in China, and then you got these crazy people who should be in an insane asylum, which is fine, but I mean the guy's nitpicking some other guy's head and eating the fleas, for instance. And then people are going to say, oh, all Chinese are like that. So then the Chinese are going to be all like, oh, no, we're not like that, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody's like, I'm all embarrassed. Same with the blacks. Like you could say the worst of the worst. What is that? That guy started eating somebody right in the face or whatever, or chopping, or the Indian guy in Edmonton on a bus just chopping some guy's head off in a bus, or the white guys. You can see how crazy John Wayne Gacy is. So, but the problem is now we are running on these fumes. We're running on crazy fumes of pandering to the lowest common denominator, which is the crazy cuckoo's nest. The lowest common denominator is the crazy cuckoo's nest. Now, no wonder why all these transsexuals need to be transsexuals, because if they did not try to dress as women and pretend to be feminine and stuff, they would probably be out bludgeoning all of us, because they're angry, they want a father figure, they want a mother figure, they want a non-whole for a mother, and so on. Let's get back to the common denominator. This is why like autocorrect is part of it, or all of this stuff where you're enabling, more comments or fast images, because you're just sort of enabling the addict of mankind's lowest forms, where everybody wants to be an American Idol. Everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Everybody wants to stick their faces in your face, like by the fours with earbuds and headphones on. You gotta have your eyes and grok. Their faces are staring right into your living room. At least in the 70s and 80s, it's still bad, but they're not got their big face like taking up the whole screen. Back then, at least they were surrounded by a lot of beautiful people, so they wouldn't dare stick a big 4 eyes in your face, or even a guy who didn't have a proper shave or something like that. The worst, I'm talking the worst of the worst of the 70s. Oh yeah, well here we go. I don't know who that is. That's bad. See, whoever that is, he's like some economist perhaps. Ew. Alright, so there's nothing new under the sun. But you have to put out images of beautiful people and good haircuts. Beautiful people and good haircuts. Because people will strive and shoot up. We have a trajectory that we need to shoot for, not downwards. Because left to itself, the second law of thermodynamics says we go to entropy. We get worse and worse. That's the nature of entropy. So if you keep on dragging and dragging down with political correctness, you see where this is going? And yet good old techno people want to make it faster. So we're going faster downward. That's not going to work, because there is no paradise on the other side of the funnel cake. You're just burning the bottom. That's all you're doing, is burning the bottom. You're ruining the batter and you're burning the bottom. It cannot be. That's what we've learned. If you don't believe that, then you're throwing away 2,000 years of human history and progress and everything that we've learned for 2,000 years. If you think that you can actually drag us down through a funnel into utopia. It doesn't work that way. Just boil an egg and let it sit for, like after about a minute, it's going to get cooler and cooler. It's not going to stay warm, and it's going to get more insipid.